4 years after it started, I have finally finished Season 4 of Canadian Movie Buff Reviews. I've been doing YouTube for several years now, and I realized that after 150 episodes, I never really sat down and explained what my ratings meant. Now, the most glaring issue with my rating system is my ratings are entirely dependent on whether you should see it in theaters or if you should wait to see it at home. However, with all the delays and pushbacks, and as well as the time between the movie coming out and my review coming out, it's understandable why it could be a little bit confusing as to how my ratings work. With all the delays and pushbacks, as well as pretty much all the movies that I'm reviewing no longer being in theaters, it can be a bit confusing as to why I would not give a rating of, say, a letter grade. I'm hoping to clarify what each rating means. Now, the obvious question is, why don't I just create a new rating system? Now, I am planning on changing up the format of the show a bit, so why not the ratings? Well, at this point, I'm pretty much committed to it. Besides, even if you were to go back to the reviews I made years ago, those movies have also long left theaters. So I'm thinking I'll just stick with the rating system that I have and just explain what they mean here. Without further ado, these are my ratings. Starting us off is Skip It. This one is fairly self-explanatory. Don't waste your time with this. These are movies that might have one redeemable quality about them, but it is nowhere near enough to save the movie. Check it out on Netflix. This was back when Netflix was the only real streaming service out there. Now that we have Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, and a plethora of other streaming services, I am going to tweak this to be save it for streaming. These are the types of movies that have something about them that makes them worth watching, but they are not really something worth getting into. These are the types of movies that you are better used as background noise, or if you really need to kill some time. These aren't the worst offenses to cinema, but there's definitely better options out there. This rating is essentially, don't go out of your way to see this movie, but if you really want to check it out, wait until it costs you next to nothing to see it. Cheap seats. If you live in a big enough city, chances are there's a handful of second-run theaters near you. These are the theaters that play movies that have been out for a while, and the tickets are usually cheaper. These are the mediocre to okay movies. This rating is for the type of movie that you'll enjoy, but you shouldn't pay top dollar to see. Next up is see it at least once in theaters. This is where we enter movies that are actually pretty good. They may not be the best high quality entertainment, but they're good enough time that you should definitely check it out. Sometimes I'll add the IMAX bumper if I think it's worth paying little bit extra just to see it in premium large format. Movies with this rating are very recommendable. No higher than a 7 out of 10, but still pretty good. See it multiple times at the theater or on Blu-ray. Now this is where we have a truly great movie here. This is movies that range from really good to amazing, but they had one or two things that prevent them from being 10 out of 10. This is a movie that I think you should see multiple times, whether, like I said, it's at the theater or on Blu-ray. Movies with this rating are highly rewatchable and overall just really, really good movies. Last but not least, Total Incrediblast. This is creme de la creme. Movies with this rating are absolute top tier. Movies that I absolutely loved and want to just share my opinion about it with the world. A movie with this rating is one that I just love so much that I want everybody to go see it. On my show, Total Incrediblast is the highest honor a movie can achieve. Now those are the 6 main ratings. I have 2 unofficial ratings. I say the word unofficial because I use them so sparingly that they aren't really, like I said, official ratings. First up is Quarantine. This is a movie that is so bad that it fails on a fundamental level of filmmaking that it deserves to be just locked up and stowed away and hidden for the rest of time. It is a movie that does not deserve to be restored or remastered or preserved in any way. These are the types of movies that, in 100 years from now, I hope are lost films. They're movies that we all just collectively forget about and pretend they never existed. The other one is Critics' Delight. Critics' Delight is reserved for the types of movies I think have artistic merit, but it's evident that the filmmaker did not make it for quote-unquote mainstream audiences. It's a movie that will get a lot of praise for the themes of it, rather than the actual story or characters. You know the kind of movie, the one that's more known for its themes and symbolism rather than for the story and characters. A movie that probably highlights the very clear gap between audiences and critics. Now that I've explained my ratings, I think now would be a good time to give a bit of an update. First off, my second channel, Extra Fraser Videos, or J Freezy, or Extra Fraser. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This has been my video game slash vlog channel slash whatever I put up on the channel. Right now it's just short gaming clips, but I am planning a video game review, as well as a themed week of movie reviews. These are reviews that don't follow the Canadian Movie Buff Reviews format, which in itself is being tweaked a little. Also, I forgot to put this in the video. All future episodes of Canadian Movie Buff Reviews will be spoiler reviews. I used to have this reserved for every 25 episodes, starting with episode 50, but I figured since it's been so long since these movies were in theaters, now would be an okay time to talk about the spoilers. I will include a spoiler warning before each video, but just letting you know what's going on ahead. Also, instead of having the pros and the cons as two separate segments, I'll be combining them into one. I think that putting them together in one combined segment will help with the flow of the review. This will also be where a lot of my non-Canadian Movie Buff related content will be posted from now on. Videos like my X-Men and Back to the Future retrospects, trailer react views, initial reactions, those will be uploaded to the Extra Fraser channel going forward. This channel will more or less become exclusively Canadian Movie Buff Reviews. And speaking of which, let's talk about future seasons. First off is Season 5. That is a go. It's not completely in the can just yet, but I am making steady progress on it. Right now, it stands to be my longest and biggest season yet. So much that I've decided to split it into two parts. Part 1 will have 30 episodes, and Part 2 will have 35 episodes. This is because I'm combining the release calendars of 2020 and 2021, since both of those were not typical years. Season 6 is being worked on. I've seen all the movies I need to see for that season, and I am working on the scripts, but at the same time, I am writing Season 5 in a way where if I want to end the series with that season, then I can. I'm not saying that I will, but it's just, as much as I love talking about movies, I really want to hone my craft as a filmmaker. Filmmaking is what I hope to do as a career one day. And I think there will come a time where I will have to choose between making YouTube videos about movies and making movies. Ideally, I would love to go all the way to Season 7. In fact, I even have a Season 0 and a Season 8 being mapped out. However, I am also sort of getting into that mentality that this is not something that I can do forever. Don't get me wrong, I love doing this show, but I feel that at some point it will have to come to an end. I think it's better that I ended it on my terms and have a grand finale than to have it slowly fade away and fizzle out. Don't take this as an official announcement that I'm ending the series. I'm just trying to be as transparent and honest with you, being the literal face and name of the channel. I'm looking forward to these next couple seasons of Canadian Movie Buff Reviews, and I hope you all join me along for the ride. Also, Patreon. Go check it out, support me if you can. Other than that, just thank you for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to my other channel because I got a lot of content in the pipeline. See you in the next one.